Okay.
Do we have like a...
Are we up? Oh, he just got on. No, you can be cool guy without it. Oh, yeah. A little headache music in the morning, right?
Headache
there you
music.
go.
Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Oh, I was grooving. I'm sorry.
No,
Are we doing something here?
Did you take that pill you found on the
Yeah,
floor,
that
dude?
weird trucker speed we found in the hallway. Of course I took it.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, welcome to This Pink Cloud. I am Kelly Reverb, and I identify as a DJ.
I'm Kelly, I'm a DJ.
And that is the Professor Nolen over
Professor
there.
Nolen, hi everybody.
And if you're wondering who this fuzzy fella is...
Who's this guy? We found him on the streets.
This is Dusty Burrows from Sobar Basics.
Trying to help him get his life together.
Exactly. And we're excited for Dusty because he is now, since he's been on the show before, he is now an LPC. It's all with these acronyms that throw me off.
So some of you
you
may
might
remember,
have to step into the mic there, buddy.
Yeah, some of you may remember
hey,
Dusty
Shem,
from...
he's not up.
Some of you may remember Dusty from 4th episode, I believe.
Yeah,
Episode
I believe
4
so. Now try it again, Dusty.
Of the first
Hello.
season.
Yeah, okay,
of
he's
This
up.
Pink Cloud. And we're having Dusty back. He's had some updates since then.
Yeah, well, I mean,
just kinda touching on.
I actually did the placing of the sticker last week.
Yep.
Last week, and that is his organization. And also, I want to note that I have found my higher power, Nolen. Which is the Jim Bob Sims bobblehead.
That is Jim Bob.
That is Jim Bob. I got it in the mail. My wife was like, "What the hell did you order, Kelly?" And I was like, "No, it's my Jim Bob Sims bobblehead."
I have so many questions. Okay, so how did you get a Jim Bob Sims bobblehead?
Dude, my reach, is strong.
I don't want vague answers. I want concrete answers.
Like I'm big in Hyco, Texas. So okay, so he sends me this. And
so he has them.
Yeah, he has like they made about 500 apparently.
Okay.
And I was like, well, he's just kind of narcissistic and
it's some sort of professional swag.
No. Somebody made like 500 and I guess he, in sales and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, everybody needs a little Jim Bob in their life.
I absolutely need one of those. I don't blame you for shifting your spiritual beliefs towards that little statue right there.
And every time
Jim Bob is a friend of ours for all the viewers out there, all the listeners and viewers out there. Jim Bob's a friend of ours that apparently is cool enough to have his own bobblehead.
Yeah, I know. That's
I think
great,
he might be
right?
the only person that I know on a personal level that has their own bobblehead.
Well, it's in the works for me.
Well, I don't doubt
obviously
to get my own as well.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to be doing
some
research.
let's talk about Dusty. Okay, so since last time you became an LPC, and spell that out again for those.
LPC is a licensed professional counselor.
Okay.
So it's been
so that
years
means
in
you
the works.
you can counsel people.
Yep. Just about anybody.
Okay, and then you are also on top of that, and you were last time you were on LCDC.
Yes, I've been a licensed chemical dependency counselor for a few years now.
Okay. So you have many tools in your toolbox.
Many leather-bound books.
I have quite a few. And
right.
Learning more every day.
And then just so you know, he also started up a sober community on Facebook called Sobar Basics. And I love it. I love all the people there.
Yeah.
If you're in Dallas, Colony area, you have to vibe. But if not, you can enjoy it from afar because there's people from all over the world in the group, right?
Absolutely. Sobar Basics just turned 5 years old.
Nice.
We have people from Australia, UK, Canada, Mexico, all over the United States.
Right.
I think some in New Zealand even. So
wow.
It's grown quite a bit. It's based here in DFW. We have an admin in Austin and Houston also. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we're going to branch out and have some other chapters here this year. So we got big plans.
Sweet. That sounds good.
So,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, so counseling, a lot of people get into recovery and get into that headspace where they're like, oh my, I gotta, I gotta do this. I gotta do this as a job, counseling people. So talk a little bit about what all went into actually getting it done. Because a lot of people talk about it, but don't get it done. Yeah. So all the schooling, all the, break it down for us. What all had to get done?
Well, I think like many, I was inspired to become a counselor because of my recovery. I had gone to a treatment as a teenager and really fell in love with counseling. Obviously couldn't become one at 13 and 16. But
rules.
Later on, at 39, when I got sober, I thought, well, this is the time. And then I just started taking small steps to move in that direction. It was a huge undertaking because I had to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree and literally thousands of hours supervised. So it's a big thing. Also, I think what happens when people go into this line of work is they're in recovery and sometimes they might relapse. Well, if they're in this line of work and they relapse, there's a lot of shame involved. Mm-hmm. And they kind of dip out and they say, well, maybe I shouldn't be a counselor, or maybe I shouldn't be a recovery coach, or maybe I shouldn't be some sort of addiction professional because I relapsed.
Sure.
That happened to me. I relapsed when I'd already started in this business, and I said I won't be one of those statistics. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get healthy again. I'm going to follow through, see this through, and be an example of just because you have a relapse and a setback, you can't
give up.
You don't have to tap out. Just move forward with your goals.
Yeah,
sure.
And so that's what I did, and I think I'm a lot better professional for it.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
It's all experience that can be blended in to help people.
Absolutely. It just lets me know again, to the people that I serve that, hey, we have some similarities here, and you have some setbacks. I had some setbacks.
Right.
We can move through that. We don't got
to
start over.
The game is real, man. The game is real.
The game is real.
Yeah,
the game
exactly.
is real.
Hey, so if you're wondering if Dusty might Chambriel, I don't know if you can get those ready for me, but I have a little surprise prepared for you. I like to. Talk about
good.
I like to talk about Dusty and his likeness to a little guy named Charlie Manson. So there we go. Okay, so here it is.
Just because you have a beard.
Dusty Burrows. Okay. And Charlie Manson.
Oh, that's not even. We got to. Where's Bushy Beard Charlie Manson?
Yeah,
he's out there.
Well, I know, but I just like the angle of the face right there where you could really catch the essence. And then, let's go ahead and go down that rabbit hole a little further.
Okay.
Now, Dusty hold on. Yeah, Dusty had hold on. Dusty has a community.
Okay.
Called Sobar Basics. Charles had the Manson family, right? Okay. They happen to cosmically share the same birthday.
This is correct.
Oh, you guys do have the same birthday?
We have the same birthday. We're both Scorpios.
Okay, so lesson learned.
It was all silly up until now. Now
basically, if Charles would have gotten into recovery, he could have been an LPC. And an LCDC.
That's just what the world needs.
Yeah,
is Charles Manson out there?
See, he quit taking the psychedelics, and and used his powers for good.
Things could have shifted.
Yeah.
Could have
gone.
There was a lot of psychedelics back in the day.
Some fork in the road along the way.
Around 95, it could have taken a weird turn.
No doubt. 95 was a weird year for a lot of it.
Well, I am glad you're here and sitting on this side of the law, and not. What could have been the ghost of Christmas future.
We're just channeling positive vibes.
Exactly.
Good to people.
Hey, so speaking of that, we got to bring up our sponsor, which is a lovely place called Summer Sky.
The one and only.
Out in Stephenville, Texas.
Yes, indeed.
What is their web address?
A little golf clap for them. Summer Sky, rehab facility out in Stephenville, Texas. That is www.summersky.us. No underscores or anything in there. You can go to that website and find their phone number, a little bit of information on pricing and things like that. It's a treatment facility,
definitely.
Inpatient treatment
You will
facility.
talk to Haikisha or Pat.
Haikisha or Patsy. Lots of different options as far as length of time in there. It's a good place.
Well, so
And we appreciate
speaking
their
of that, we're going to go ahead and segue in. Chambriel is our guest with us. So actually from the facility, Summer Sky, we have fitness guru, and
cool guy. This should be a lot of fun,
and
guys.
General Beefcake, if you will, of course. His name is Rick Henry, and there he is, the beautiful. Oh, dude, and he's got his attaboy wall going behind him.
Nice.
I like all the accreditation back there, of course, because that's your legit Zoom meeting room.
Hey, you put in the work. You got to show off a little bit.
That's right.
This is my office, so yes.
Nice. Well, okay, so I put in the title, Doc, in quotes, DOC, in quotes, because you are halfway through your doctoral, correct?
That is correct, yes. 50% done after this semester.
Nice.
Okay.
On the way.
Yeah, so, but prior to that, I mean, we'll go ahead and get into that story a little bit more, but I would like to know personally, I mean, I caught bits and pieces of it, but I would like to know personally, like how basically Rick started, a young Rick Henry started, and then where did he start to go off the tracks?
Where did it all go wrong?
Yeah, basically, give us the skinny, give us the background.
Yeah, a little quick story for us.
Well, I grew up in a small town outside of Austin. That's originally where I'm from. Played sports all my life.
Dripping Springs?
No, I grew up around Liberty Hill.
Oh, okay.
That's 35 miles northwest. My sister actually lives down there in Dripping Springs.
Okay.
But anyway, played football, did really good at that. I was going to go play at a D2. At the time, I was seeing a girl, right? So
you were seeing a girl?
I didn't get to kind of change plans there. So my dad was in the Army. He was a first shirt in the Army, and then he had been in the Air Force for 4 years back in the day. And he said, do you want education or do you want rank? And I said, education. He said, well, go Air Force. And so that's what I did. I went F-16, A-10 aviation electronics, the Warthog and the F-16 Falcon. And so during that process in the Air Force, anytime we got together with it, our friends or anything like that, it was always a drink fest.
It was always a throwdown. A bro down. Well, so what was your title in the Air Force?
Well, I got out. I declined testing the last 2 years because I knew I was getting out. So I was the E4.
Okay.
Airman.
All right.
Rank in the Air Force is a lot slower than the other branches.
Gotcha.
You have to test. You have to test against everybody in your career field, and then time and rank as well. So
I gotcha.
My first year testing, I couldn't have made it if I made 100 on the test. So,
right. I gotcha.
That's how it works.
That's how the hierarchy works. I gotcha. So
yeah, and that's what my dad was saying. If you want rank, go in the Army. If you want education, go in the Air Force. So that's what I did.
Okay.
So that's kind of where, I drank a little bit through high school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually a good bit, and then right after high school. But it really took off in the Air Force. I mean, we got, that was a weekend thing though.
Mm-hmm.
That was the difference. You could set it down pretty much throughout the week, and then, really live it up throughout the weekend. And I did that with my working out as well. I had a buddy I worked out with, and we were dedicated. We would work out 5 days a week. And then come the weekend, we would destroy all that by drinking and not eating.
Of course, yeah. They have the liquid dinner or the liquid regime.
So just keeping right at baseline from a lot of
right. That's called maintenance the hard way. Right?
yeah. There you go.
And so when I got out, I started working in the high voltage area. The relay. I was like a relay engineering technician, if you will. When your lights blink on and off, that's actually a
That's
big
you.
breaker.
That's your fault.
Well, no, that's not.
You fix them.
It could have been me back
Right.
in the day, but that's a relay sensing a fault on the line.
So I'm painting a mental picture. So possibly inebriated somewhat or hungover Rick working on high voltage. Okay. I've got that part. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, but we did a lot of out of town work, and with anything going out of town, staying in a hotel with all your buddies, drinking's going to happen.
That is a road trip, is what they call that.
Yes, yeah, and that happens, every week in that career field. We had to go out of town, and so
so what was weekends is now becoming more frequent.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's your job,
right? And so it got out of hand, and the thing was, I knew that I could never go back to that type of environment because it would just be a matter of time before I picked it back up again.
Sure. Right. Well, okay. So like you got to this point where you knew the wheels were coming off, right? So then who was it that was it your dad that said something to you? Was it a family member or how did it play out?
Well, the first time I went to rehab, it was kind of like an intervention.
Okay. Did you have Jackie Bibby show up like Scott did?
No, I didn't have this. No, I didn't have him show up. But it was more like an intervention.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, I wasn't done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
No, it happens.
You don't have the problem. They have the problem. Well, no, they just don't understand.
I totally understand that. Sometimes you get interrupted a little early. It hasn't quite hurt enough. The sting isn't there yet. Yeah.
How old of a lad were you at this time?
At the first stint, I guess, probably high 30s.
Okay. All right.
Mid to high 30s.
And then that's when you had the intervention happen. And then as a result of that, did you go to rehab?
I did.
Okay.
I did for 30 days.
Okay. Did you do your 30 days at Summer Sky? Or where did you do your 30 days?
The first time I went to rehab was at Summer Sky.
Okay.
And then I went to a different rehab here in Texas.
How long of a window did you have in between rehabs? Ooh,
not long. It didn't take that long for the wheels to fall off again.
I got you.
It was probably less than a year on my second go round, and then less than that on my third, and then it was a long time after that, and then that was my final. To tell you the truth about me, 30 days wasn't long enough for me. I needed accountability longer than 30 days. You can have a sponsor, or me personally, I could have a sponsor and they could call me up. How you doing, Rick? Oh, I'm doing great. I needed more accountability. I needed a breathalyzer and a urine sample. That
right.
Kind of accountability.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this last time I went through IOP, which kept me accountable for a longer period of time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How long a stint was that in IOP?
I did the 30 days, and then I think it was another, I want to say it was 90 days.
And just for those of y'all that don't know, IOP is intense outpatient.
Yep.
So that is, I guess, did you actually go in back in the day? Because we just Zoom. So, but.
Yeah, I was going in. I was I would show up there. I would get a urine sample, a breathalyzer, and then we'd do class, So that's the kind of accountability I needed personally. But also that last stint, I actually accepted step number one. I had never really truly accepted step number one. I could say it all day. I could kind of act like I did, but truly deep down, I always thought that I could manage it. I thought in the back of my mind, oh yeah, I can go play golf. I can drink some with my buddies. And I never really truly accepted step number one. Until you do that, I think in my eyes, if there's a notion in the back of your mind saying, "Oh yeah, well I can still control it. I'll just give it a year or two."
Yeah,
right.
There's no way for me. I know that I can't do that. And
Hey,
so,
Nolen, why don't you go ahead and tell them step one?
Oh,
by the
yeah,
way.
sure. So to elaborate for anybody listening, step one, essentially, well, word for word, is powerless over alcohol, drugs, whatever it may be.
Right.
And your life is unmanageable. But for layman's, it's just, you can't control it. There's no magical set of circumstances or whatever where you're going to be able to get it started and turn it off when you want to turn it off.
Successfully drink.
That's the
Socially drink.
to break it down as simple as possible is to turn it off when you want to turn it off.
Right.
You know, to drink Saturday night when you go out and then not drink again for however long you want to. To have control over it, to make decisions and follow through with those decisions,
Which
around
seems
alcohol
to get
and drugs.
somewhat blurry.
Yeah.
All
Well,
my
it does.
maintenance
I know
programs
I-
have failed.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what he's talking about. That lurking kind of notion in the back of your head that, like, you know, for me, what I always did was, you know, I could recognize that I let things get out of hand, that physically I put my body into a situation where I needed alcohol and drugs physically.
Right.
But once I get rid of the physical problem, the detox, put a little time behind me, then I can go back in, watch it close this time, and make sure I don't let my physical addiction take over again.
Right.
And it just never, ever worked out that way. I had to do that. I had to fail at that many times before I accepted what he's talking about, too. Where it's just like, okay, wow, there's something in me just is broken when it comes to alcohol
That's
and
an
drugs.
ongoing thing. You have to actively accept that step as well, Rick. You know, wouldn't you say? I mean, at least I do, for sure.
Yeah.
you know, I would sit in those meetings and I'd say it, you know, just as loud as anybody else, but truly, I really didn't accept it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what really helped me out.
Okay.
Right. And then so you eventually stopped. And were you a beer guy or a vodka or just all over?
I was a Miller Lite guy.
Hey now.
Miller Latte.
Yeah.
Keeping it local. Keeping it local.
Right. There you go. So
that's the thing. So if you're thinking, oh, that's all it was beer. I mean, but I would drink plenty of it.
yeah, well, like
Plenty of it.
I've heard of people. What was your rate of consumption?
Oh, I could drink. Well, you know, you're talking at least the case. You know.
Are we talking cans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you cans. So you were a suitcase guy.
I was a suitcase guy.
I gotcha. I always I
always had my suitcase. I always had my suitcase packed.
There you go, dude. The thing is like with beer, I would just feel too bloated. I just couldn't do it because I would constantly have to pee.
I found a little trick where I would take a couple of Zantac before I went out for the night.
Okay.
And it would help me be able to drink more beer. So
Okay.
I preemptively took medicine to where I could drink more beer. It worked a little bit.
Well, it was kind of like I was talking to you the other week about my mini thins.
But I don't have a problem or nothing.
Yeah, sure, of course not, right? Well, so back to Rick. So
That's normal.
Yeah, exactly. So you get to this point, and then you finally go to IOP, and IOP, you know, I guess you gradually start to see the light when you're in IOP.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think 30 days would get me sober, right? Get me sober, kind of like what Nolen was saying.
Hit the reset button.
The part's over with. I
dial it back.
Yeah. Sobriety. I can go out there and control it now. So that kept me away from that for a longer period of time, and that's what I needed. You know, not being able to say, well, I can control it now. Other than I already accepted step number one. I really didn't want to, but kind of staying in a safe environment with accountability, that's what really helped me out. So.
Okay, so we're in there for 3-4 months going through that process.
Yes.
And then IOP finishes. What's next?
To tell you the truth, when I was in Summer Sky, I had a counselor and I said, you know, obviously you have time to think in there.
A little bit.
Right. And so I knew that even though it was great money, I couldn't get back to the environment that I was working in. And so I always wanted to be a coach. Even in the Air Force, I was the fitness coordinator of the flight. I was, even in the electricity world, I'd have buddies come up, hey, how we do this? Let's get me on this plan. And so while I was at Summer Sky, I had the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I always wanted to be a coach. How do you do that? How do you become a coach? And my counselor said, well, you need this degree in kinesiology. I'd never even heard of it.
Right. Kinesi what?
Kinesi. And so I had a associates from the Air Force, a bachelor's from St. Edwards. And so I went and got my master's in kinesiology.
Okay.
And,
at Tarleton?
Yes, yeah.
Nice. That's Stephenville. Shout out.
Yeah. And so from there, I said, well, okay, now I can become a coach. Where do I need to coach at? And I started coaching at a 6-man, a little small town outside of Stephenville. And to tell you the truth, I was coaching and teaching middle school and high schoolers, and at night I was teaching college kids. I was an adjunct, so I got to see the differential between kids that didn't want to be there and kids that paid to be there, right? As far as instruction or teaching goes. And I kind of fell in love with teaching the older crowd that want to be there and want to learn.
Makes sense.
Not to say anything bad about junior high and high school, but we've all been there. We didn't want to get up and we didn't want to go to school. Most of us did.
Yeah.
So, that's the kind of stuff you're fighting. And then I had my memories of going back to high school. If my coach told me to do something, well, I did it, right?
Sure.
And it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same as it used to be. I would never backtalk my coach.
There's a lot more PC-ness today.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. So, I was still under the impression that it was kind of still the old school way of back when because I didn't intern or anything like that. I just jumped into it. And so it was kind of a night and day difference of what I was used to in high school. Back in our day, the black and white days, my coach got mad at, or something like that, you might get thrown up against the wall. I know we can't do that now.
Right. Sure.
Or
it was definitely lap time for sure. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, well, if you'd like to run some laps, I think it would do you some good.
It ain't that bad.
Is it that bad, Rick?
Say again?
Oh, I said, is it that bad? Because Nolen said it's not that bad, is it?
Like, you can still run them and punish them, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. I can tell somebody to run, but there's no way I can get that person to run at 100% effort. And
wow. I can't even imagine saying no to a coach.
I know, yeah.
Well, it hurts me to even think about trying to do it.
Right, I know. It's an authoritative figure. You're supposed to listen to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like I said, I didn't mind it but it wasn't the same way it was back in the day.
Sure.
A lot more relaxed, get away with stuff. Coach told me to do something. Maybe if I feel like it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
I don't. It's a cult. You can bring that kind of culture into a junior high and high school, but it's very hard when it's your first year to do that, right?
Oh yeah, the new guy.
Yeah, I'm the new guy, and you're trying to establish a culture to what if a coach says something to do it, you do it quick, and you do it right, and you do it, fast, you do everything he tells you to do, and he's going to be looking out for your best interests.
Sure.
Anyway, but it had kind of changed. Not to say that one place couldn't get back to normal or to what I call normal,
right?
Because there's many 6-man football teams out there that's got it going on. They listen to their coach's a principal and a father figure. That's
Right.
the kind of,
Yeah.
that's pretty much how it was when I was in high school.
Yeah, coach's word was law. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I like what you said,
it's
too,
not-
that he's got your best interest in mind. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I don't know if I would have worded it that way as a kid in sports, coming up
No.
in junior high and high school, but that looking back on it, that's what it was. I trusted that coach.
Well, I didn't want to dog it out there because then you wouldn't play.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right. So you start coaching there, and then where does coaching go from there?
Well, from coaching, I went into teaching, and I kind of fell in love with teaching. Like I said, teaching the younger or the older crowds, and so I was like, well, how do you do that full time? Well, you need a PhD, and so I was like, okay, well, how do you do that? And I started looking around and found one of my advisors had gone up to Denton, and he really liked that class, that school, and so I put in, and I put in for that. And at the same, I didn't hear anything, and I was like, well, that was in one discipline. I really want to do exercise physiology, either science. Watching people grow really fascinates me. Hypertrophy for one, or somebody has a goal. Hey, I want to lose some body fat. I want to add a bunch of muscle. Let's get busy. That's the kind of stuff I like. And to scientifically find out what actually occurs and what makes the body grow. The certain stressors that we put on the muscle to make it grow.
I'm gonna take a real quick time out here, Chambriel. If you can pull the picture up, because I got to show you as a picture of Superman. Here I've got a picture I took off the
What is this now?
the internet of Rick working out, and so you can actually see the greatness that is Rick.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
To embarrass you a little
well,
bit?
no.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
no,
if you got it,
you got
it's
it
okay.
flying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's years of work into that.
There we go. The gun show, baby.
I don't know. I could take him.
I've got you. That looks like what? Is that 30-pound curls?
I don't know. I mean, I can't see y'all.
That's 45 in each, homie.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is actually. Yeah, but
No,
no,
50.
it's a good picture of you. Don't worry, I wouldn't do you wrong.
No, okay.
You didn't have the. I didn't pull any pictures with the ponytail.
I think I can take it. I think I can.
Compare you to Charles Manson either.
No, you had your clothes on. It was just a tank top.
Well, so-
and the gun show.
So you were kind of touching on it a little bit there with the hypertrophy and all those made-up words that you just made up just now.
Yeah. They're called buzzwords.
Yeah.
YouTube does wonders.
But so this is kind of where Kelly and I know Rick from. So at Summer Sky, when we were both clients, inmates, however you want to address us, there in the treatment center, Rick would come in and would give us little classes, little lessons on fitness and nutrition and things like that, and then would also work out with us at the gym.
Right.
And I know that you're a huge proponent of incorporating fitness into your recovery. Like you would say,
sir.
it's probably numero uno for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to when I get new clients. So I do personal training on the side, I guess, if you want to call it that. I have an NASM certified personal training, fitness nutrition specialist cert, and I teach strength and conditioning as well at the college level. So when I come to Summer Sky, I wish I was a motivational speaker, really, but I want to get the clients to understand that creating this hobby, creating this working out, hey, changing physically as well as mentally is a good thing, because I tell people when they first come in, if you've ever tried to work out hungover, or if you've ever tried to work out drunk or anything like that, it's the most horrible feeling in the world. If you were used to working out and you try to do that, it is the worst feeling.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
I never even tried.
And so to bring that into the back of our mind, hey, I never want to feel that way again. That is the most horrible thing. I mean, it ain't like I have to get up and go to work. I have to go and physically work out,
exert yourself,
myself. And when I first got sober, it was that's kind of a memory that I would hold on to and say, man, I never want to feel that way again, because I had already established working out, right? So we have to create a healthy hobby. Let's get it. I'm not saying swap addictions, right?
Sure.
Don't skip work to go work out,
right?
But create this hobby, this healthy hobby. Those are the kind of people that you want to hang out with anyway, more than likely. Everybody in the gym that you're going to hopefully is not drunk or, right? So
right.
Those are the kind of people you want to hang out with. So if you're sitting there on a Saturday night, bummed out, oh man, I should be at a party right now, or I'm thinking about going out and get your workout clothes on and hit the gym. You'll be surprised of how many sober people, right, are at the gym on a Saturday night or a Friday night.
Well, it kind of incorporates the people, places, and things, is what they always say.
Right.
And I don't know who they are, but go ahead. But
I had a question for you, Rick. Hi, Rick. I'm Dusty.
Dusty's kind of a beefcake himself. He is a fledgling beefcake. I would say he is at about 220.
I'm getting there. A few pounds off of there.
And it's pretty straight up muscle, so he's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He's got the peen ravine. Sorry.
I sent you some pics. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Well, Rick, I think fitness is the next big thing in recovery. It was the undiscovered missing link for me in my recovery. I think I was just getting by. I was pretty content with it. And then I got motivated by some friends to get into fitness. And it's been a game changer for my whole life. And now as a counselor, I try to motivate people into going for, incorporating fitness, with discovering higher power, finding their community, etc.
Right.
What are something that you use to get people off the couch and into the gym, or off the couch and into running? Some of that motivational type stuff you're talking about.
Well, like if I come into a new group, first of all, I'll say something like, hey, when you come out of the shower, right, go in front of the mirror and drop your towel, right? Okay. So getting them to envision themselves doing that. And I say, take a look at yourself. If there's anything physically that you need to change, we can do it now. This is a perfect opportunity. And so it kind of puts that vision of man, I need to lose a little bit around the waist. Right. I can get my arms a little more.
Do you ever suggest any particular poses?
Right.
Like I always do the hands, the fist on the hips. Is always the fist on the hips is always a good pose in front of the mirror.
Yeah, you have to have the Superman pose. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
But that's the thing. That's normally the first time I'll talk to somebody. Hey, envision yourself in front of. I'm telling them literally, get out of the shower. Make sure your roommate's not in there. Drop the towel. Now, if you're happy with what you look like, keep doing you. Right?
Yeah.
If you're not happy with the way you look, let's change that. Right. And that helps motivate some people from sitting on the couch.
It's kind of motivating me now, Rick. Yeah. If I be honest, I'm like sitting there. I'm like, if I did the Superman pose out of the shower, there might be a little extra spare tire.
I know one of the things that I would hear a lot in the classes at Summer Sky, and you just hear a lot in life, is people complain about time, right? Like it takes too much time. It takes too much time to go to the gym and do all that, and I got kids, and I got a job, and all this. So what's say I'm complaining about that? How does that conversation
go? If it was a time thing, we had time to do our drinking and drugging, right? Obviously.
Yeah, right. Of course.
But besides that, let's not even go down that road. We had time to do that, but let's not go down that road. We make excuses, right, to not to do stuff that's hard for us and uncomfortable. If we really want to grow, right, it's uncomfortable. Yep. We got to get these stressors applied to these muscles, and it's uncomfortable. There's no way about it that, it's going to hurt a little bit, depending on your pain tolerance. But
right. And it's going to cut into your Netflix time, so sorry.
Right. And so, to tell you the truth, if you're really wanting this, I tell people to get in their head about, say, if I talk to you and it's Wednesday, I wouldn't say, well, let's go to the gym today. I know there's no better time than today, but get it in your head that you're going to start at a certain point. Let's start on Monday, right? Let's start on Monday, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to get mentally prepared, right? That you're changing the way you're going to look, and we're going to start this on Monday. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start working out, all this stuff like that. You get motivated, you're motivating yourself for this start period. It doesn't really work out if you're not mentally prepared for it, because if I grab somebody off the street and say, hey, let's go kill it in the gym, they're not likely to hold on to that other than, hey, we just worked out. That was a pretty good workout. See you later, that kind of stuff. But if you can get mentally prepared of this big change that you're going to go through, right? It's a little better, I think.
Okay.
Cool. Well, next time I'm looking at Dusty and looking at you on the screen, and he's like, oh my God, dude. Yeah, I know. He's got that like high school girl look.
You know what was always really funny? Whenever I'd work out with Rick, it'd be like, I don't know, me and one or two other people that were even weren't scared, got past the fear of working out with Rick.
Right?
Like, knew it was good. I'm coming off of a alcohol and heroin binge, and I'm like, all right, yeah, let's see what my body can do. Not much,
right?
But I remember, and Rick's got a lot of really great tips on form and the type of exercises you do, and working, requires much less time in the gym when you do things the right way with the right form and all that. But the anecdote or the funny story or whatever I'm getting to that would always crack me up is he'd show us an exercise or whatever, and we're trying to find the right weight for me to do. And I'd get on there, 2 hands, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's not the right weight.
Right.
And Rick come over there and just one hand, like, no, you want to do it like this. Just look like air, just pushing air around while I'm struggling over here.
Well, what I was going to say, next time we roll out to Summer Sky, we need to bring Dusty and do a couple of reps in the gym.
I'll show you some of this form stuff. You may already know it, you may not, but I mean, like an idea on a bent over row. I mean, you think you're killing it on that deal, but you do it the form he got. I mean, I went from like 200 to 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And was burning way harder at 70.
Yeah, form
and,
is everything.
and that's kind of my philosophy in the gym. Muscles can't read, right? They don't know how much weight you have in your hand. It's all about creating tension. So if I can take a 50-pound dumbbell that you're using momentum and you're not fully, flexing your antagonist and fully engaging your agonist muscle while we're working out, I can grab a 10-pound dumbbell and create more stress on that muscle with a 10-pound than I can with a 50, and you'll get more work out of a lighter dumbbell. And that's the biggest thing about some of the clients that I take to Summer Sky. It's an ego thing. Well, I got to grab these 45s and do curls with them.
Yeah.
And use momentum, use body,
Right.
Body
Yeah.
weight,
The old heave ho. Yeah.
All right. And it's not about that, really. I mean, it's all about, you see people doing a curl and they're bringing the dumbbell way up.
Right.
If you really look at that, I mean, that right there, I don't know if you can see me.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
That's a shoulder movement. Right. We're doing curls. We're working the bicep. So why am I
right.
Anterior delts? Let's save that for shoulder day and let's work bicep.
Right.
So, and another philosophy, I guess, is progressive overload in tracking all your weights and your reps.
Dig into this, Rick. This is good stuff. Give us a little rundown on that.
Everything I do with the clients. I'm not like that personal trainer that keeps stuff in their back pocket so you keep paying me.
Right.
I'm the personal trainer that tries to make you smarter than me by the time you leave. So when you get out of Summer Sky, you don't need a personal trainer. You can lift better than 95% of the people in the gym already if you listen to the way I teach you. So I tell the story that when I was down in Austin, there was multiple Gold's gyms, right? And so I would swap it up. I would go from one gym to 6 months later, I'd go to another Gold's gym, and then I would come back. The problem with that is when you come back 6 months later to the same gym you were going to, the people in there looked exactly the same. So that's another way I start one of my lectures is I tell everybody, I was like, hey, everybody get up, I'll take you to the gym and I'm going to kick your butt for 6 months. And I promise at the end of 6 months, you're going to look exactly the same. Who would actually follow me to the gym? Right? Nobody.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what happens. That's what happens in everyday going to the gym. You see people in there. You've seen them in there for the past year, and they look exactly the same. Not because you see them every day, and that's a different story. But it's because they're not progressively overloading. And to progressively overload, we have to keep track. And to keep track, we have to keep a log or a journal or. It doesn't sound cool to call it a journal, so we'll call it a gym log, right?
Yeah, there you go. Got to bro it up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you got a man log or
a man log.
Rick, I had a question about nutrition. So a lot of times we go into treatment or we get sober, and we've used alcohol and drugs to mask our feelings, right? And so as addiction being a persuasive pattern of avoiding feelings, we take away the drugs, the alcohol. Oftentimes we go to food, right? So when I got sober, I went from 145 pounds emaciated to 220 pounds of not muscle. Just fat. And so I noticed even at my AA meetings, we had a big bucket of chocolate, right? What are the main foods that you would suggest cutting out of your diet and some of the red flags to watch out for the newly sober person?
As alcoholics, right, for every gram of protein, there's 4 calories. For every gram of carb, there's 4 calories. For every gram of fat, there's 9 calories. And for every gram of alcohol, is 7 calories, right? And so we quit. What happens is, as alcoholics, I know personally, I wouldn't eat, right? And so I would drink your supper or your lunch or whatever you're doing. And so when we come into a rehabilitation center, their purpose is to get you back to normalcy. So it's high fat content. They're trying to get you from 150 back to your normal weight. So some of the things that we look for when we come in, we start drinking Cokes and we're looking for the sweets, right? Because what happens to alcohol? It turns into glucose, right? It's sugar, right? And so we're looking to satisfy that, and we start eating sweets and breads and pastas and stuff like that. If you're looking to change physically, it's like, hey man, I want to get jacked up. I want to put nothing but muscle on. I got diet plans for that. And then really the biggest thing about a diet plan is caloric balance, right? That's 50% of a good diet is caloric balance. If I'm putting in more food than I burn, right, than I expend, then obviously I'm going to add weight. I don't care about weight gain. I don't care about weight loss. I care about physique changing.
Right.
And that's where we get misunderstood. We go over to the scale. I've seen people not eat anything for a day, just drink liquid, right? And they step on the scale the next day and they put on a pound.
Right.
So, right. And so what is the worst thing about that is we absorb food differently. We retain water differently. And so we set ourselves up for failure when we actually step on the scale. Oh, I'm 235. I'm trying to gain weight. Tomorrow I'm 234. I ate more food yesterday than I did today. What's going on?
Right.
So I don't care about weight gain.
Sure.
I care about fat muscle building, and I don't care about weight loss. I care about fat loss. So
right. I gotcha.
What I go through is I'm pretty particular. I do take my weight down every 2 weeks when I'm,
Yeah, would you suggest people do that every 2 weeks, not every day, not weigh yourself every day? And
if you do that every day, you're just going to be happy one day, sad 3 days.
Yeah, right.
Happy, sad 3.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just a roller coaster, right? So what I recommend people doing is going to Walmart or wherever and getting a sewing tape measure, right? And when you get the tape measure, for guys, I normally have 10
tape measure
places on their body that they measure, right?
Right. Then, yeah. Hey, wait.
Maybe 11.
Don't measure that.
That won't change. Well, at least not from working out.
Like you measure your chest, measure your right arm, left forearm, left forearm, waistline.
Why is my right arm bigger?
Right thigh, left thigh, right.
Hey, Rick. So there's a couple things I want to get to. Obviously, I want to plug the fact that you are.
No.
Yeah. I want to let people know that you have a master's degree, correct? Okay, yes. And you are halfway through being Dr. Rick. Correct. So halfway through your doctoral, you you teach undergrad sports management and sports communication and tactical strength and conditioning at 2 different universities, and you are also. Do you also offer your personal training just to somebody that wants to meet you up at the gym?
I don't charge anybody.
Okay.
I've done lectures for the fire department. They'll come up to me, hey man, you got a workout, and I'll send them a workout. I don't charge people for that.
Well, that's awfully nice. I think we have your contact information underneath there, right, Chambriel? Is his contact information up there?
Yeah.
Just in case they want to get in touch with you via email, you might get some random emails from somewhere. But
well, I'll tell them like I tell my students. In the subject line, I tell my students to tell me what class they're in, right? But if you're going to email me about something like that, put something in the subject line that stands out, so I don't just skip by it. I got tons of students and I get tons of emails every day. So if you're really saying, man, I kind of like what he said about and what Dusty said for him as well. Fitness is very, very important to me in my recovery. If you have any questions about, oh man, I don't even know where to start, I can send you an Excel spreadsheet of my workout, and you can go through it that way. I'm all about hypertrophy, though. I mean, if you are looking to lose weight, I'll have you move more, and more we move, the more calories we burn. More calories we burn, more in the deficit. More in the deficit, more fat loss. Right. So, I'm all about myofibular hypertrophy and sarcoplasmic hypertrophy.
Well, hold on. Sarcoplasmic. I love every once in a while I'll hear a made up word. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Hey, so speaking of this, as I was doing research as a good host does, right, on the internet, Chambriel, do you have that other picture of Rick? I was going to talk to Scott Kelly about possibly a partial refund because you have a skill that I did not know you have, and she's going to pull up a picture I have of you, and it's right. Nope, not that one. That's the beefcake one, and there we go. There's a picture of you playing the violin.
Rick plays the fiddle?
Exactly.
I didn't know you could get down
What is this hidden talent?
Oh man!
Kelly, you did it to me. Let's hear it, dude.
Well, when I was around, I was younger than kindergarten. We have a bunch of kinfolk. Now, when you get
kinfolk, I like that. Okay, yeah.
Kinfolk. We have a bunch of kinfolk up in Looters, north of Abilene.
Okay.
Little bitty town. Everybody in that town is kin to me one way or another, either through my grandpa or grandma or my dad. So everybody in that town. But anyway, all about playing traditional instruments, music, right?
Right.
I got a great aunt that played the violin, the mandolin, the guitar. I mean, she could banjo, whatever you throw at her, nice. She can play, right?
Yeah.
And then my grandma's dad and his brother and his son, the Thomasons. Benny Thomason was one of the best fiddle players in Texas, and then he moved to Washington. But Benny Thomason is, if you've heard of Mark O'Connor, I'm sure a lot of people have if they're listening to violin music or fiddle music. Anyway, he is one of Mark O'Connor's mentors, right?
Gotcha.
And so they said that when my great aunt grabbed the fiddle and I was, less than 5 years old, they said I stopped what I was doing and I just stared at her with my mouth wide open and I was drooling. And I just stared while she played. And then when I was about 19 years old, I picked it up and went to a family reunion, and all my kinfolk were saying, "Oh, we knew you were going to pick it up one day." And they were telling me these stories of me just sitting there, amazed at this older woman tearing this fiddle.
Now, how did the fiddle play in with the whole football persona?
Well, see,
did you keep those separate?
The picture of a fiddle player most of the time.
Right, yeah. Not a violin player. I'm a fiddle player. I can play. The ultimate question is, can you play The Devil Went Down to Georgia?
Of course you can.
I could probably. I try to. I don't play it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
A little Charles Daniel band.
It was the same with golf and going to professional sporting events. It's something that I associate with drinking, really.
Right.
And so
I got you.
It had been 7 years since I played golf, because when I played golf, it was a beer a hole. Right?
Sure.
And so at least, right? And so I have just picked that back up.
Okay.
Me and Armando.
Well,
Armando and Brady.
Armando, shout out. There we go. Hey, so next time Nolen and I come back to Summer Sky, I am going to insist that you break out the fiddle and we have to see your skills.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to ask for a partial refund because I did not get to see that skill set while I was at Summer Sky.
I'll get a pickle bucket out of the. I'll get a big 5-gallon pickle bucket out of the kitchen and we'll get down.
Yeah.
That's funny. Stacy makes me play it around Christmas time sometimes, and then she'll record it.
Does she put a bow tie on you?
Yeah.
By the way, do you want to go ahead and give her a shout out real quick?
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
My wife.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. By the way.
Who says hi?
Kane.
Oh, Kane.
Okay.
Kane, our boy. Yeah, we'll have him on a show down the road here.
One of these days.
So so she puts a bow tie on you and makes you play.
Yeah.
Yes.
I associate playing the fiddle exactly like your short game in golf. Right? You don't play it for a couple of years. Pick it back up. You're gonna skull one over the green. You're gonna duff one.
Right.
And it's the same with a fiddle. You if you don't use it, you lose it. It'll take me about an hour or two to get warmed up, and then I'm recordable, I guess.
Right.
But still not.
Hey, Rick, I don't mean to cut you off, but dude, I could talk to you all day, and I want to thank you for coming out. And obviously, we got to give a shout out to Summer Sky again. And Rick is out there at Summer Sky, and he is a good dude. And definitely, if you actually listen and do what Rick says, it can benefit you.
Yeah, no. Thanks for all you do out there, Rick. I mean, just for my personal deal, the month and a half that I was in there, going to the gym, hitting that with you was invaluable. Really, it gave me a little bit of self-confidence and just a little bit of a push in the right direction. And so far, something's working because we're almost 7 months sober, which is insane for a nut like me. So yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate all you do out there. And thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, for sure. And then also I wanted to thank Dusty Burrows, and I think Dusty's going to reach out to you personally. He probably wants to get that Excel spreadsheet, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you some stuff too.
Rick, he's actually kind of blushing over here.
I think I got a new man crush.
He's got a man crush. But go ahead, Rick. Anything else you wanted to say?
Oh, no, I really enjoyed this. I mean, helping other people find maybe fitness in the recovery. I mean, golly, it's invaluable.
Yeah, for sure.
It has been for me. Dusty says the same thing. If you really, truly, I'm never truly satisfied with the way I look. I know that's not good to say, but body dysmorphia, stuff. But you always got to, you always competing with yourself, always self-motivated.
Well, hey man, if that helps you from staying away from the suitcase of beer, then you know
you can keep it in balance.
I say do it. I say do it. But thanks a lot for coming on. Let's see. Oh, real quick, I guess we want to pull up. Obviously you can always get a Lone Star shirt, which I owe you a Lone Star shirt. Rick, what size are you?
Medium.
So you want like a 2X? Will that be tight on you, or an XL? We'll figure that out. But you can pull up the picture real quick, and they can get it at djkellyreverb.com. And then I just also wanted to show the other shirts that we had coming up real quick while we got it. There's the Lone Star shirt that's available now, and then coming up after that we have and this is our closer.
We found in the hallway.
Right? Yeah, you did. But I'm just going to go ahead and close out the show. And thanks everybody. Be sure and tune in next week. Thanks for all the guests coming out. But I'm going to go ahead and read the shirt to you now and if you want to play me out with some music, there is no magic pill for sobriety. If there was, we would all take too many.
I would try.
Take care, guys. Yeah. Or off the floor in the hallway.
I'd go in with the best of grenade. Here we go.